welcome back for lesson 2. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Donna. This is my Wonderland and today we are doing lesson 2 in the beginner's crochet. So last week we did a slip knot and a chain. This week I told you we were going to look at doing the magic circle or the magic loop method of starting off our crochet. So this is slightly different. You don't have this foundation chain, although I'm going to show you how you can do it with a chain and how you can do it with a magic circle loop. Story time. Let me tell you, when I first learnt to crochet, I learnt to crochet in circles. I learnt to crochet a circle and square off the edges to make squares, so you could make a granny square, so you could make a blanket, and that is how I initially learnt to crochet. That's what I was taught. I had no idea that crochet could go backwards and forwards. I know that that sounds really silly, but I was about 10, 11 and that's how I learned. I learned to knit, that was backwards and forwards, and I was just like, yeah, knitting is backwards and forwards with 2 needles and crochet is going round with 1 hook. And that's what I thought it was. So this is actually how I first learnt to crochet. So I am showing you this because they are basically the 2 methods to get you started. So you're either working in straight lines or you're working in circles, which you can just continue to work in a circle, or you can square off edges, corners, and start making squares with the circle in the middle. So we are going to start off by showing you the magic loop method. We are going to show you how to do the similar thing with a chain, and we will get started on that now. If you haven't watched last week's, these are going to start building on each other, so you can watch last week separate and this week separate and then move on to the following weeks, but it is the foundations of learning to crochet that we're covering in these lessons. So my promise to you, don't hold me to it, is that you can learn to crochet in 5 minutes a day, which is why in the middle section of this video I do a 5 minutes where I just show you what we're learning today, and I do it over and over again to show you. And the idea is that I have timestamps below for you, so you can just click to the tutorial timestamp, and every day you can come back, click on that 5 minutes and just start doing that little practice technique for 5 minutes, and the music and me doing it will last for 5 minutes, and then you can go on your merry way and you can just keep practicing, because repetition is something that you really need to do. It's really hard to pick up a new skill if you do it once a week and then you don't pick it up again until the following week. So this is just booking 5 minutes a day with yourself, either when you get home from work or when you finish picking up the kids and got them sorted with something, you've got a cup of tea, and just do 5 minutes. So I will turn you down and show you what we are working with today. Okay, so we are starting as we did last week with a 4mm crochet hook. I will leave the link in the description and the pinned post first comment to show you where I got mine from. It comes as this kit where there's about 8 or so crochet hooks in there, and then other little notions that you need for doing crochet and needlecraft. So this is the 4mm hook that we are learning with. It's a nice size hook to get you started. We are using double knit yarn, so it is just 100% acrylic double knit, and the double knit is actually dictating that there are 2 strands of yarn that are twined together. So that is what we are working with. And last week we did the slip knot and the chain. This week we are going to do the magic loop method. Now the easiest way to show you that, let me zoom you in a bit, is, well, there are a couple of ways. So I will show you a couple of ways and you can decide which way works for you best. So you can do just this crossover like we were going to do a slip knot, and then you put your hook through and you pull up a loop, and then you are going to yarn over and pull through. And that has got you a loop, and it has got you a beginning stitch there, the foundation stitch. So what you then would need to do is to just continue to make these foundation stitches. So you would go under, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2. That is the beginning of that's your single crochet basically. So you're going to go over both of these strands. So you're going to go yarn under, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn under, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through. Now this is all about getting, you know, your hands and your technique right, and how you want to actually hold it. So as you can see, I'm kind of holding one side of the circle with my third finger and my little finger, holding that together so that I've got some stability there. And then with my middle finger and my thumb, I'm holding these two, and then I'm using my back 2 fingers there just to hold the yarn out the way, and I am using my index finger to control this working yarn here, and then obviously my other fingers are dealing with the hook. So it is a 2-hand thing, and I'm using all of my fingers to do this. So you've got your circle, you're going to put your hook through the middle of the circle, you're going to pull up a loop, you're going to yarn over, and then you're going to pull through 2. And it is fiddly. It can get very fiddly, but practice, that's why we're practicing this. So then we get the same chevron pattern that we got with our chain last week. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches on there. So normally I would say you would do 8, but just for quick purposes of showing you here, put my hook back through there. What you would do once you've got your 8 on there is you will pull this tail tight. And as you can see, it pulls the whole thing in, and then you join in the round. I'm not going to get into working in the round and things like that, or particularly joining. I just want you to practice starting the loop off this week, and then we will work on adding to it. So again, this method, you are going to just, as if you were going to do a slip stitch, do that cross over so that you've got that cross as if you were going to do, your slip knot and pull through. But instead of doing that, you're going to use your hook. You hold that crossed section. You go through, pull up a loop, then get your hands in position so you've got a bit more control over it. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through, and that's your first start. And then you are going to work 8 of these stitches around. So you go through the center, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, hook through the center, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the middle, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through. Do that 8 times. Once you've done it 8 times, you are going to pull the tail tight to make that circle. And that's all I want you to do this week, is just to pull that tail tight. We'll go over the joining the circle more in another video. So what you can also do is you can do a double loop method, where you actually are going to go over twice. So you've got the tail in this hand, you've got a loop, and then you've got another loop here, and you're going to cross that over the back there. Okay, so you've got your tail, your working yarn, and we've gone over twice, and then you're going to go through both of those, pull up your loop, twist it, yarn under that hook under that working yarn and pull up. And you might find this one easier. However, we now have 2 loops that we're working with plus the tail, so you just need to be careful that you don't drop anything, that you've got everything in the right order. This is just a more secure way of doing it, and you would then do exactly the same. You go through the middle, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, go through the middle, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Through the middle, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Through the middle, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Hook through the middle, pull up a loop, yarn over, and there we go. So then what you'll find is when you pull your tail on this one, you're going to get one circle moving. You see that that's bottom circle's moving and the top one's not. So you don't want to pull this completely tight, because otherwise you're just going to have this loosey-goosey bit here. You need to get this one to pull tight first and pull it in the direction that doesn't pull the tail. You see this one is pulling the tail, so I need to pull from the other side, and that will pull the loop. So pull that loop that the tail's not attached to through first, and then pull the tail, and that will pull that other loop. And that just makes it a little bit more secure. It is completely up to you which one you do. So let me show you that again. So double loop method, you're going to hold the working yarn in your between your thumb and your third finger. You're going to go once round your fingers, twice round your fingers, and then you're going to cross over the back there. So you've got your working yarn tail, one full loop, and then you brought it up and crossed it. You're going to take your hook underneath those 2 loops and pull up a loop, and then you're going to take it under the yarn and pull it through, and that's your starting stitch. And then just like we did with the other circle, is you're going to go through the middle, pull up a loop, through 2. And then again, to show you this pulling section, you pull the tail, you see which circle is going through, it's the bottom one, so we need the top one to come through first. So you grab the bottom one, pull it on the side, make sure it's the top loop that is then going smaller, pull that nice and tight, then pull your tail to pull that loop secure. So it is, like I say, completely up to you which one you do. So that is your magic loop method. I would say that is something that requires quite a bit of practice. It's a little bit fiddly, but you can do it with a chain. So let me show you the chain method of starting off in a circle. So slip knot as from last week, and we are going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then what you're going to do is going to slip knot into that first stitch that you did. So we've got the chevrons there, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we are going to take our hook and put it through that first chevron. Then we're going to put the yarn over the hook. We're going to pull through both the chevron and the last stitch that we did, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through, and that has started us off in a circle. Now this doesn't give you a very tight center, so you can see that I can get my finger right through there, but it can be a little bit easier to get started with. So then what you're going to do is you're going to put a single crochet into each stitch to get you going, but again we'll cover that next week. I just want you to practice starting off this loop. So that one's pretty easy. We can go over that again another time. What I want you to do this week is just concentrate on creating the loop, because that gives you that nice tight center where you can't see anything. Now where I'm going to do the 5 minutes of just going over and over it, so you can watch it again and again and you can practice along with me. Okay, so that was your 5 minutes. Don't forget that you can just concentrate on doing what you're doing. I'm showing you again and again and again what to do. You don't have to be doing it again and again. Just practice whichever method you want to for the 5 minutes. So I was hopping between the two so you could see them and keep reminding yourself of the ways that they are done, but you can just pick whether you want to do the single loop or the double loop magic loop, and then just keep practicing. Put 8 of those through the middle, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, do that 8 times, and then tighten your circle, then undo it and start again, and just practice that. These are your foundation stitches, your foundation chains for this type of work, so it's really important to get those embedded in your head so that you can start your work off neatly. The more you can practice these things and get your tension to an even consistency whilst you're doing it, the better your work is going to look as we progress. So I know that it is really tempting to go really fast and to just start to do a project, but these foundation stages, these foundation chains, these foundation stitches are really, really important to make sure that you are going to produce some nice work that you'll be proud to show people. So that was the magic loop. Next week we are going to start doing single crochets, and I am going to suggest that you have, maybe if you have got 2 balls of yarn, or if you have got time to break your yarn into two balls, that you do that before our next lesson. And what we're going to do is we are going to learn to do a foundation row of single crochets into a chain and single crochets into the loop. So I'm going to show you both of those next week, and then you can practice with both if you have a chain ready and a loop ready. So we'll do that next week, so don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I next upload. If you have enjoyed this video and enjoyed the last one, then please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.